Hey guys, it's Paul, and in this video, I want to give you a over-the-shoulder look at the $4 million cheat code prompt, so that you can see what it is going to produce for you, so you can make meaningful action. I said this is a $4 million cheat code, and I'm not exaggerating here. If you have a hotel that is has a group budget of $8 million, and that's a combination of group rooms and banquet and catering. So maybe 4 million in group rooms, and maybe 4 million in BC. Anywhere in those ballparks, or but you have to have meeting space, and you need to have a ballroom, at least, let's say, at least 5,000, maybe 4,500 square feet. So you have a meaningful ballroom, a ballroom that can get you 100 attendees. So that's ballpark figure of what I'm talking about. The big picture here is that when it comes to getting group base, the target is to, of course, go after groups that have meetings, right? And we're looking for the Roger. We're looking for revenue per occupied group room, right? So that is what we're after. We're after sleeping rooms and food and beverage combination, right? So that's Roger, right? So to get here, we need to find groups, meetings that have big peak nights. So usually we're targeting the midweek customer, a Monday through Wednesday. Ideally, you're looking for a 200 room peak business if your hotel can handle that. But it doesn't have to be 200. It could be less. It could be more. So this is not something to scoff at if you run this prompt. Now, when you run the prompt, when and I'm here on the post, right? I just posted this today and I want to explain it. Read the post, get the big idea, and then at the bottom in the comments, as promised, went ahead and I put in the link. So let me see if I can find it. There's the disclaimer. And where is my link? Oh, the link is over here. So in the comments, you'll see I put the prompt. Now, if you click the prompt, this is going to take you to my Google Drive, and you'll see the prompt here. And what I want you to do is just simply copy and paste this entire prompt into your ChatGPT or Claude. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then follow the instructions. Now, when GPT or Claude, it's designed so that it will ask you questions and it'll tell you what reports to run. So I'm going to briefly go over the prompt here, and then I'm going to show you what the output is going to look like. So the prompt is this: act as a hotel space optimizer and revenue manager. Your job is to build a hit list of accounts to target an empty ballroom dates using star week and day of week patterns, not raw calendar dates. Assume I have full access to my property's DITY reports. Your job is to tell me precisely what to pull and for which date ranges, not to work around missing data. Right. And so here is the core principle of why this works. So it says here the star week plus the day of week. Let me see if I can make this just a little bit bigger. I'm gonna make it huge, right? So the star week plus the day of week equalizer. So meeting planners don't book September 14th every year. They book the second Monday of September, right? Recurring conferences, sales kickoffs, board meetings, and religious retreats overwhelmingly repeat on a day of week and week in cycle pattern, not a fixed calendar date, because a fixed date drifts across weekdays every year while a day of week plus week pattern doesn't. That's why raw calendar date matching, example, comparing August 12th, 2026 to August 12th of prior years, is close to useless for this analysis. The day of week is almost never the same, so you'd miss the actual repeating pattern. And so for those of you who are familiar with the star report, right? The star report is Saturday to Sunday, right? And the star report is based on the weeks in the year. So there's 52 weeks. And that's how star keeps it standard for the dates. So it can match the Mondays of this year, of the current year, to the Monday of this time last year. So when we're talking about pace, right, same time last year pace, we're comparing apples to apples. We're comparing this Monday this week compared to this Monday exactly 1 year ago, exactly 2 years ago, exactly 3 years ago. It's always a Monday. So one of the big ideas when you're doing your when you're selling and you're prospecting and you're selling based on dates is you want to base it on the day of the week. Have a same time last year mentality when you're booking these dates. So what I've done here was I put together a prompt that's going to pull in two reports. One report is showing you all of the groups that stayed with you, right, in a particular date range. So let's say we are targeting next August or we're targeting this December. Your reports are going to be specifically for December. This year's 2026. So we're going to run reports on 2026 and we're going to run reports for 2025, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to try to do a 5 year look back of just all of the groups that was in the system, right? Then we are going to target all of the reval. So this is a reval campaign. Reval mean revaluation, right? These are your rebooks. So the lowest hanging fruit in your pipeline are all those people who have done business with you already. So we're going to look to see who booked this space last year. So let's pin that for a second. When we are selling here, and this is what the article was talking about, what we're doing is instead of putting the focus on your pipeline, instead of putting your focus on your funnel report, or you're putting your focus on your GRC, that's good. You still have to do that. When in the world of new business and prospecting for hotels, what we have to do is we have to start with the end in mind. And my argument and my case in this article is that the best way of selling is to sell the space. You're in the business of selling space, right? As a group sales manager. So, how do you identify the space? Well, you're going to have to identify the space based on what's available, right? So, what you want to do is you want to run your function report occupancy report where it's going to show you, in this case I'm using the INT01. That's a Marriott report, but their Delphi has the same type of report, so does Envision and all the other ones, but I'm going to just speak of Marriott as an example, right? The INT01 report is the function space availability report. It just shows you all of the availability for your space. And the whole idea here is when we're talking about need dates, what we want to do is we want to look at need dates in the sense of when is my ballroom vacant, right? So as a seller, the big idea, if I want to really move the needle, knowing that the ballroom is my big money maker, I've got to filter my report so that I can see, okay, well, when is my ballroom vacant throughout the year? So I put that list together, and because that ballroom, because you're familiar with food and beverage minimums, and the ballroom has a high food and beverage minimum, etc., that we know that we want to get X amount of dollars from our ballroom. And that's the big money maker, is the ballroom, because the ballroom produces, hopefully, group rooms. So I look at the report and I see, okay, when is my ballroom empty? When is it vacant? That's like the first thing I would do. And then let's hypothetically say it's September 9th. So I see my ballroom is vacant on September 9th. The next thing I want to do, of course, is look at my revenue reports and see, okay, well, what's the occupancy on November 9th? And because that will determine how many group rooms, what my group room ceiling is going to be, right? So let's hypothetically say I have a 200-room hotel, and let's say it's already at 50% occupant on the books. I have 100 rooms to play with. Now, I could make the group ceiling that 100 rooms, or I can make it less. Obviously, we know we're going to make it a little bit less because we want to give a little bit, about 20% left to transient to play around with, right? So I start off with finding the vacancy in my function space, then determine how much is the max levels I can go after. And then the next step I have to figure out is what group in the past booked September 9th. But remember, September 9th is not always a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, year over year. So I have to it's not only trying to figure out what group last year was September 9th, it's got to be what day of week last year that September 9th fell on that I have to target, right? The reason why that's a very big deal, and this is something you just have to understand, is meetings and groups, companies, they don't book based on the calendar day they don't book on a day. They don't always say, okay, we're gonna, now some might like January 1st, not that that's a popular, or some might say Christmas, December 25th. Those are the exceptions to the rule, specific holidays that have a specific day. But generally speaking, it's something to the effect of we're going to book our sales kickoff meeting every second week of January, right? Or every second Monday of January, year over year. It's a repeatable program. It's every second Monday on a January. So that is my target audience. So if I happen to be going back to a different date, let's say that's the case. Let's say I'm looking at let's say I'm looking at 2027 right now. And let's say I'm looking in the month of January. I noticed that my ballroom is vacant on the second Monday of January 2027. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see what groups were also over on the second week of January that arrived on the Monday as well. So that becomes my hit list, if you will. So that's just all data gathering, right? So at that point in time, it's just got my list of all of the groups that have actually stayed on those days, because these typically are groups that, especially if they're big groups, associations, especially, these are typically groups that are always repeating year over year. Okay, so once I have my list, that's step one. But the next step that's just as important is figuring out what is the booking window. And this is why the date created is very important when you're looking at your reports. So I want you to start thinking about that as you look at your reports. If you haven't been doing it already, start paying attention to the date created date, because that's when the lead originally became a quote in your system, right? That's when it was created originally. Now, we all know that from the time it was originally put into your system, aka date created, to the time it changes stages, let's say it changed to a tentative, and let's say it changed to a tentative 3 months later, and then let's say changed to a definite maybe 4 months later, right? In total, right? One month later than the tentative, right? Let's just say from the date it was originally created to going definite, that is 4 months. Well, that right there is what we call the booking window, right? So that is very important. You have to understand all of the booking windows for all of your groups, because that is the time frame you actually will start engaging them. For example, let's say here we are, it's July 2026, and let's say I want to start targeting January 2027. Well, this typically is a booking window because now we're approximately 5, 6 months out from January. That's typical booking window for thing. But some companies, it's not 5 or 6 months. Some companies, it's 2 months. And so some companies aren't even going to start thinking about January until, let's say, October, November, right? So if I knew that a certain company was that always came in on January, and I knew they would come, I have to know that, hey, their booking window is actually in October. So you could start to nurture that, and that's fine. But do realize that once you hit October, that is when you really got to turn up the heat on that prospect, because they're in their booking window. They're starting to shop. And the name of the game, guys, is to get repeat business without going through the RFP, right? Now, that's ideal, right? You ideally want to do that. Now, I get it. Some of these pieces of business, if it's an RFP driven piece of business, are championed by meeting planners, and the meeting planner wants that repeat business too. So that's fine. I get it. But high level, the goal is not only to repeat them on your own terms so you don't have to pay commission, but to actually generate new business with the companies directly, because that's how you can ensure that you don't have to pay commissions, where you be the one to go out and get that direct relationship with the company. Now, I can digress on that, but the hack to that is your LNR piece. How are you doing on your LNRs? Because it's your LNRs that are going to drive you that non-commissionable group piece if you're very good on the LNRs. Because LNRs are not just corporate negotiated transient. LNRs have meetings. And so you always have to have that in the back of your mind. What is this LNR total account value to me? They may only give you 20 to 75 room nights in the year, but they may also give you an extra 50 to $100,000 just in a big meeting for their annual meeting or something like that. So anyways, so that is really just high level here. And now this prompt here is using two reports. I put it in here just so you see it as an example. We are using two reports. These are Marriott reports, but Claude or Chrome, if you use this prompt, it's not pulling any reports from my end per se, right? So I'm not using any reports from Marriott specifically. Now, I had dummy reports that I used to mimic the behavior when I created this prompt in the first place. So I didn't really use any customer data when I did it, just as a disclaimer. And I tested it through my own platforms. But just what I'm working with and what you'll be working with if you're a Marriott property is you're going to be pulling the INT01 report, right, and you'll be pulling the C141 report. So two reports are what is going to give you the data that you need. Okay, these between the two reports, one is function occupancy reports because you need to know what is available as far as meeting space, and the other is basically customer data and booking windows and things like that, right? But the INT01 report is a report that is overlooked a lot. No one really looks at that report, but now it's going to be a critical part of your game because now you're going to hopefully be a sales manager that's selling space, right? If you think about your own sales game right now, how are you selling? What are you doing, right? The majority of you guys are just simply taking RFPs, waiting for RFPs, sending proposal, and that's your entire game. That's the only game that the management companies and the brands know is that, hey, we want you to get good at writing proposals. Everything is a proposal, everything is a business case, etc. We want to become professionals where we are true hunters and we know how to find real business in our own backyards and beyond, right? And we're going to start with the lowest hanging fruit, and the lowest hanging fruit is in our system. Right. So that is the game plan here. All right. So that's just a little bit of an overview of how the prompt works. Now I want to just show you what the prompt actually looks like. So when you run everything through Claude and you answer all the questions, now if you use ChatGPT or Claude, what's going to happen is you're going to ideally create a project, and hopefully you guys get a pro account, but you're going to ideally have a project. You don't need to do a project, but it's best. And you're going to answer all the questions that the AI is going to ask you. It's going to ask you one question at a time. It's going to tell you what report to put in there. And there's some leeway where you can dialogue with it and it'll help you and autocorrect or whatever. But it's designed to ask you questions. Okay. So remember, going back to the prompt is this: act as a hotel space optimizer and revenue manager. Your job is to build a hit list of accounts to target on empty ballroom dates using star week and day of week patterns, not raw calendar dates, and then assume I have full access to my property's reports. Your job is to tell me precisely what to pull and for which date ranges, not to work around missing data. So this is the personality that you're going to be working with AI. So just follow the AI. It's going to help you produce what you see here. Now, I want to just quickly show you what you are seeing here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, make this a little bit bigger. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is the output. You're going to have these headers right here. First off, column A is the star week. So I've matched up, and your prompt is going to match up. Everything's going to be based off of the star week, right? If you're any good at star reports and looking at your star report, and I know if you're a DSM and you're here right now, that when you're looking at the weekly star report, even the monthly, but let's just say the weekly, you're looking at the weekly star report the next week, you're looking at your transient and you're looking at your group variance of same time last year, variances, etc. Right? And as you look, it's a change report. It's measuring how you did this time last year. And so everything is based off of the star week. So I made sure that the report is going to be generated for the star week. Now, this particular example is, as you can see here, is August 2026. So the scenario that we're looking at here is, hey, I want to look at the need dates for this August. So that's why it pulled only August. Now the start week for August is right here, weeks 31 through 36. That is August. Every single year, it's going to be weeks 31 through 36. Some of the day of weeks will change, but that's the star week. So the first thing I did with this prompt is made sure that we're now looking at things not only by arrival date, but we're looking at by star week. As you can see here, the groups that came in, now here's the need dates, right? The need dates is August 1, 3, etc. Now I color coded this. If it's green, this is a hot lead, right? Of course it's green because in this scenario, this is in the next 30 days. That's why it is green. But as you can see here, we're monitoring the day of week. So the star week is 31. So in the star week of 31 star week, we're looking at Saturday. So now we're targeting. The need date is August 1. August 1 happens to be a Saturday. And let me just confirm, put my little calendar here if I have it here. Do I have my calendar? My calendar's not down there. Oh, anyways, it's not there Friday. I thought I had it there. I don't waste any much time, but we'll just have to check that later. So we're targeting August 1, August 3, August 7. These are all dates that my ballroom is empty, and these are all dates that a previous company has been there before. Now, all this FYI, all of these groups you see here and all of these names, these are all fictitious, but here, in this case here, it's saying here that on August 1, which is a Saturday, Riverside Chen wedding block was in my ballroom, right? And it tells me recommended outreach type is going to be a warm callback. Now, this is something I put in there. And then I put in the historical arrival date, right? So these guys stayed on August 3rd of 2024, 2 years ago. Now, get this. The recurring pattern I put there as just extra help. August 3rd, 2024 was the first Saturday of August. And we're also looking at the first Saturday of August this year. So that's why it's matching. We're matching because we're going to go back as far back as 5 years, right? We're only targeting the first Saturdays of August in row 4 here, the first Saturday of August for the last 5 years, right? And so that's why that's there. Let me move my face up here. And so now scrolling over a little bit, we see we have a market segment here. We've blended the contact's name, their title, their phone number, their email, and we have their historical created date. Now here we start looking at that booking window that I was talking about. So the Chen folks, they stayed on August 3rd, looking at it again, trying to not lose my place here, mouse here. Okay, so let's look at that as an example. So the Chen wedding, they stayed the first Saturday of August in 2024. You tracking? You see that? So they stayed with us last year, 2024. We're targeting the 2026. Right now, we're targeting the first Saturday of August 2026. This wedding, now I get it. In reality, it's a wedding. They're not going to repeat because it is a wedding. But just as an example, they stayed at the hotel on August 3rd, 2024, which happens to be the first Saturday of August in 2024. But the lead came in originally on November 15, 2023. So that's not that long. There was only 10 months time. So they got married on August 3rd when they came to the hotel, but they put the RFP in, or the record was created back in November 15, 2023. So now when we start talking about the booking window begins from when it was created to when it went definite. And here's the definite range. So here for the Chen wedding, remember they got married in August 2024, but originally they put in the lead. The quote was made November 2023, and then about 3 weeks later, December, it went definite. So that was 16 days in between these two numbers. So they had a 16-day booking window. That's why you see here. Some are bigger, some are shorter. So when we're talking about the booking window, it's from the day it was created. That's the day that the client said, hey, I am going to start shopping for a hotel. I'm ready to get proposals and etc. And so from that moment to the day I send out a proposal to the moment I send out a contract, all of that time is the booking window. If I knew that these guys were getting married, let's say in February of 2023, and I knew that as a hotel for whatever reason, let's just swap it out as a company. I knew the meeting was going to happen in August the following year. Well, even though I could keep a relationship and nurture that, they're not going to take my stuff seriously or my offer seriously until I get into the booking window. So knowing your booking windows for all of your groups is extremely important. Something that's not being taught in our business. Unfortunately, if it is being taught, drop me a comment. I'd love to know who's doing it. But I've yet to find any management company really talking about booking windows. The closest thing to talking about a booking window, which was in my article before, is the concept of understanding the two B's, Because if you're good for you to forecast, you're going to have to make some assumptions. We call that two B's, TO-BE, 2B. You have to make certain assumptions. And the way you can make assumption is similar to figuring out these booking windows too, right? All right. So now how we sell now, right? So here, the call priority, you have hot, and you have urgent. So that is what you're going to see the output of what you're going to get when you use your own reports, right? It's going to have a run date. So whenever you run this in row 1, it's going to be the date, right? And I said here the call priority is calculated from this date, right? So we're going to go down some more. You'll notice here now that as we go down, there's no matches starting in row 17 down, right? So here's the star week over here. And we're looking at, let's see, starting in row 17, we have week 31, 32. These are all dates where we do not have anybody in the ballroom and we never had anyone in the ballroom on the star week. So it truly is a cold prospect. And so now your strategy changes. Up top, they're revals. Up top, you're re-inviting the people. The conversation is different. It's, hey, Sarah, calling you because I want to let you know that the ballroom is available again this week, next September 2nd Monday. Do you want it? Do you want the first option? That right there, guys, is another hack, another trick that you should be talking, should really start educating your customers on and really understanding yourselves the concept of first, second, third option and using it to your advantage, right? Because if you come across as a informer, as an educator, as a sales consultant, people's resistance to you will go down. You're calling to inform your client that you've got their back, you have their best interest at heart, you've been watching the space that they normally book and that they like that space. And now your call is to inform them and say, hey, got that space available. Do you want to go to contract now so we can lock in the rates and dates now and go into first option position so that you don't risk losing it to someone else? So using your first option, second, third options as a tool of selling is, in my opinion, advised, right? Because a lot of rookie meeting planners, even experienced meeting planners, just assume you're going to hold dates. Well, holding dates doesn't hold water per se, right? So you want to come from a position of strength where you are selling options, if you will. But looking down here in this here, you see this great cold prospect. Cold prospect, as mentioned, it's cold. There has never been anybody in this scenario in the last 1 to 5 years. There has never been anyone who has booked the Sunday on Star Week 31, or the Wednesday on Star Week 32, or the Thursday on Star Week 32, right? So just looking at rows 18 to 21 right now, just eyeballing it, that is Star Week 32. In Star Week 32, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 days in Star Week 32, which is a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, right? That these dates have never been sold at this fictitious hotel, right? And so if I want to, and so that's good and that's bad. It's good in the sense it's not going to hurt you on your star report under a group because you have no group on the books the previous year. It's good in that regard, but it's bad because you always need to do business. And so this is your chance to really do some proactive selling and start fixing that problem, right? You got to think of it that way, right? And if you can get a new piece of business that you've never had before on a particular star week, day of week, and if you're able to do that, you have truly moved the needle for your property, and especially if it's a meeting that's going to recur. That is really that is being a good sales manager, in my opinion. Truly finding new business that never existed on that star week, day of week. That is awesome. And in my opinion, if I was your boss, I'd probably give you some incentive for doing so. Hint OSMs. Anyways, guys, that is a hint. This is the prompt. This is what it will look like. It may be a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure it's going to look like this. There is some README out here in the second tab here. This is just notes that the prompt is taking. Nothing to really be concerned about, but just some notes about what means what. Warm callback equals a historical match exists. So just basic notes about what you're seeing here. But when you get the prompt, just follow the instructions, upload your report, and you'll be fine. Of course, this content is educational purposes only. I make no claims that you will get exceedingly great results out of it. And I would always refer to your internal processes and procedures when you're dealing with AI. But in my world, it's safe. And in my world, it definitely moves the needle. And I know it will for you if you give it a chance. And if you have any questions, feel free to either DM me or email me. That's fine. And I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye bye.